Okay, so this is Super 8. This is the first app I'm going to be reviewing slash comparing. The next app will be 8mm vintage camera. First of all, you can film in two frame rates, 12 or 18. Then you just basically film your video. You have to hold down the record button, which is really annoying. Once you're done, you process your video. You choose either a light, medium, or heavy damage effect. Then you can have a cool or warm to make your resulting video. Then you hit process. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times it doesn't. Next I'm going to show you 8mm vintage camera. So this now is a 8mm vintage camera. The previous footage was from Super 8. I had to kind of talk fast because it has a 60-second record limit. You can set between 40 and 60 seconds. That was the previous footage from Super 8. You can have it set to unlimited, but if you record too long, it never really works since you do the rendering afterwards. When you go to render the video, it crashes. Some videos I found it just don't render at all, regardless of their length. This here though, 8mm vintage camera, renders while you're recording. I'm using the internal camera now, which you can't do in Super 8, and I can see the footage and I can see my filter that's on it. This is also a lot more filters. With a Super 8, there's supposed to be 6 filters on the description. That's why I bought it, and I've complained to them about it, and they replied back asking me what was the problem, because they didn't quite get my email, and I emailed them back emphasizing how there isn't 6 filters. Still haven't got a response, but yeah, it has Super 8. Has heavy, light, and medium filters, which basically define how damaged the film looks, and then you have a warm and cool effect. So that's basically 5 filters, but really it's 3, because you have to use warm or cool. You have to choose a combination of the two. You get your warm and cool, and then you choose your light, your medium, heavy. With this, you actually get 5 filters, and then on top of that, you also get different lenses. So if you use the combination system that Super 8 use, you get like over 30 different combinations. But for filters alone, you get 5. This is a 70s filter on right now. Also, you can't use the internal camera on Super 8, and you can on this. This is dear. This is 159 by the way. Super 8 is 79 cents. So we got 70s. We got Sakura, X Pro, Sienna, 90 and 20s, back to 70s, and then we've got this lens, which is has this red glow that keeps coming in. It's kind of annoying, especially since it comes in a lot on the top left corner, but not a lot everywhere else. It's kind of nice to use when you're using the 70s filter. They don't call them filters, so they call them films. When you're using the 70s film, it looks makes it add to that 70s look, but it's a little bit too intense, so it's a bit annoying. So you can change it to this one, which it just makes everything look blurry. Probably be useful, let's say, if you're using the 1920s filter, if I find that. Yeah, kind of blurry, grainy, black and white. Back to the 1970s. I like the 1970s filter, so I'm doing most of the video with that. I think this is a clear filter, clear lens, not just a regular old lens. No quality diminished with a 70s film. And then we've got this one, which kind of makes it look, even though it's a lens, it's really supposed to make it look like you're watching back on an old projector. And so is this one. This one's a little bit nicer though. I think that other one's kind of fake looking. But yeah, then we're back to normal. There's also a button you can press, which I actually pressed. I actually done this video already with the button pressed, and I was really annoyed. There's a button you can press that makes so you can hear like a film reel in the background to make it feel like you're watching back on a projector. It's kind of a stupid feature, because I don't want it to look like I'm watching back on a projector, even though that's the idea of the idea of the app. I want it to look like I filmed it with an old camera, not watching back on an old projector. It's really, really loud too, the noise. It's really, really annoying. But that feature's there if you think that's cool. But you have to turn it on before you start recording. You can turn it on and off. You can change your filters, you can change your lenses as you're recording, but you can't turn on the flash as you're recording. No, you can turn on the flash as you're recording. You just can't turn on. You can't switch between cameras as you're recording. I can't switch to the external camera now. I could have started beforehand though. I can't switch on that that film reel noise. You can also turn off the audio completely if you want, say 1920 silent film you're making or something. But you have to do that before you start recording. But most features you can do as you're recording, like you can change the lenses, change the film, and you can also add this kind of flicker effect to make it look like you're watching back on an old projector. But as I said before, it's not really the reason I got the app. I kind of wanted to just make it look like I filmed it years ago, not that I'm watching it back years ago. So that's 8mm vintage. The previous footage was Super 8. It's kind of really twitchy now. Yeah, this doesn't do HD though. Of course, I'm recording with the internal camera, but you can use the external camera, which is HD, but it won't encode it in HD. Super 8 will. However, Super 8, most of the video will be black. It letterboxes the video. It's got like a square image of your video in the center, giant black bars on the left and right, thin black bars on top and bottom. So even though it's HD, most of that definition is lost in just black pixels. With this here, it never claims to be HD, and it's not. But Super 8 does look a little bit clearer because it still is, HD. But this does a good job, I think. I mean, you shouldn't really need HD video anyway if you want it to look retro. So I recommend this above Super 8, even though it is more expensive. Mainly because Super 8, even though Super 8 doesn't have as much functionality, it also crashes all the time. So that's the other main reason I recommend this. So 8mm vintage camera, it's $159. I think it's $2 in the US. Super 8 is 79¢. US would be 99¢ app. Yeah, Flickr. Yeah, get this, or if you don't want a retro camera app for your iPhone, don't get either. Maybe get Super 8. It's only 99¢. Just try it out for a bit of fun, but probably don't get either. If you want a camera app that, which you probably do if you're watching this video, that makes you look retro and stuff, get this 8mm vintage camera. Well, I've already talked for 6 minutes. It's really long.